Hello everybody. Today we're going to talking about list and key and how to render multiple React component in web. So I open the default project, and here is an element to render and I open the terminal and start the project. So here I can see it is a heading 1 for the first element. The heading 1 element, I define a component by function form. By defining a form, we have a function, and this function is a React component, the same as in class. We can define class as component, and we can answer the function as component. And remember that the function name or the class name is uppercase in the first character. So here I see this component only show a list component, and I also define another component is a name animal component with some default function is a render, a constructor, and this definition is for a class, for a class of component, and the use interface is an unordered list. I return the output as an unordered list. Inside the unordered list, we have some of the list item. So the list item we can get from an array. In here, I create the array. So using the map function, animal is a property of an array that we input, and the map function is a function for cloning the animal, for cloning an array. So we clone an array to another array using the map, and inside the map I add the arrow function, and inside the arrow function we change the value between the original array and the destination array. And here is the input of the arrow function. Input the arrow function, we have the index is the value of increment, and here we can modify the output of the function here by adding the animal string to the list item, and component key must be unique, and the list item is an item. It is a component, and the component need a key, because we will have multiple components, so each component will have a key, and the value is the value we insert to the list item, to the property of list item. So we can change the value as we as you like by adding the customized string index. We convert the index to string and adding a more string at the minus string, and concatenate with the string of animal, and the value depending on your the how you want to display. And the key of a component is very important. It is a must if you want to render multiple component. And here is a list item is show to the output, and we define a constant of array animal. We have some of the animals that we know: lion, tiger, cat, dog, and dinosaur. And this is an array of string. This is an array of string, and we can also add array of integer, array of float, depending on your attention, depending on your work. And here I show the animal components. Here's the above animal components, and we have the input. The input property is animal is equal to the animal is equal to the constant animals array, and here I add the animal array inside the curly brace to add it as an input property for the animal components. And through the animal components, I can refresh the output, and I see that done it. The error is as the component name must begin with the uppercase. The component name must begin with uppercase. Remember that with changes to uppercase, and I open the Firefox web browser and refresh. Yeah, okay. The first is here a list of string, and I want to change the array to an array of object. How can I do this? For example, I change this to an array. Yes, here's the array. The array of object. Each object we have a three field. We have a three property. ID must be unique, and we can use ID as unique for each of the object. And here, so I will change the key here. I do not need to add the name here, and I use ID because the ID is unique. The ID is only for one object. Each object have one ID, and each list item or each React component have only one ID. And I can I can show the title to the output. Yes, this is a title, and depending on your work, you can show another field. For example, name. You can search name and refresh. Okay, now. Okay, and this is end of my lesson today to show you about how to use multiple components and a list and key in React. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel